Nice, beautiful. Were you football or football americano? Football. Okay, great. Just wanted to make sure I got it right before I translated. So the awesome, beautiful story about being a nerd, thinking that you were a nerd, having pimples, and really feeling like he was different and didn't really fit in, and then went on this beautiful trip. And the trip was was it to Italy or to Budapest first, or first Budapest and then Italy? And on the journey to Budapest and Italy, he started coming across people who were just as nerdy as him. I mentioned that he spoke, like at that time, you were 16 years old and spoke 4 languages, and just didn't really feel like he felt fit in until, went on this trip. And on this trip, he said that he saw people and met people who were nerdier than him. And for the first time, he started actually, just doing things and experiencing the culture, the people, the life, until he came back to the States, less pimples, right? Lost a bunch of weight, looking fly, as you are tonight, looking very fly, brother. And now you just feel like you're on your own skin. Beautiful story. Ladies and gentlemen, Francisco Santos. One of the beautiful things about this workshop also was the way that the storytellers truly started to support each other during the process. So there would be times that we'd be working on the story, like, no, you forgot that part, or you have to bring in this other part of your story, and so it was beautiful to see that moment, not only in the workshop but also here. It truly was a wonderful community, and whoever shouted out, that was that was awesome. Thanks so much for the support. Thank you guys. Awesome. You guys ready for more? Okay. So our next storyteller. When we asked her what was your most memorable New York City moment, she said that it was a very cold New York City day. I'm sure many of you remember it's been cold for the past couple of months. It's not cold today. But on this cold New York City day, she went on the subway and somebody handed her the Metro paper. And the person who handed the Metro paper said, that smile is going to always keep you warm. So she was cold, but you'll see her smile is going to keep all of you guys warm right now. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage, Melanie.
I couldn't sleep. I couldn't fall asleep. And granted, I was jet-lagged, but that was not the reason why I couldn't fall asleep. You see, I was in Kenya because I really wanted to be a doctor, and I was there to learn about HIV and the sociopolitical implications of it, and hold a clinic with a bunch of nursing students. But I couldn't sleep because it was my first day, and I was playing with the kids in the center. There were about 200 of them, and they had most of them had lost their parents to HIV, or they had HIV themselves. And I was fetching water and playing with them, and by the end of the day, I am talking to John and Nancy, and they are the ones who run the project, and they tell me that the only limitation for them to have the center open is that when there's no water, they can't feed the kids. So this is January 2010, and suddenly the images that I had seen in September 2009 of the drought in Kenya become extremely real, because it is these kids that had been fighting for those jugs of water. And John and Nancy have some idea what they want to do, and in the morning, after not sleeping, I decided that this is what I have to do during my stay there. So go to the plumber and learn some Swahili, and try to figure out how we're going to budget this project and bring water from the reservoir into the center. And in the midst of my playing engineer, I'm told that I have to go hold the clinic, because that's why I'm there. And we have a table, somebody measuring nutrition status, another person measuring cardiac function, another person measuring lung function, and somebody else dispensing medicine. And everything starts feeling like a factory line, because everybody is coming out with cough syrup, because everybody's wheezing, because we all knew that they were, from the home visits, we know that everybody's puking indoors, and their lungs are not functioning properly, and why are we giving cough syrup? But I let it go, because my first priority is to get the water project running, so I finished that, and unfortunately I didn't see it through because I was there for such a short time, but months later I get a picture in my mail, and in my email, and I never thought that a faucet of water opening would move me so much. Growing up in Ecuador, I thought that I understood somewhat what poverty was, but the complexities are so different, and I definitely don't understand it yet, and I don't think I ever will. It's a year later, and I am in Bangladesh, and Dr. Alaudin tells me that he has actually created this cook stove and designed it with Mina and a bunch of other women, and they have pretty much solved this air issue that needed to get to Kenya. So I figured I should tell the stories, and I connect them, and yeah, so I am in Bangladesh, and that was something else that I had to write. So I had written everything about Kenya, and I had written everything about Bangladesh. And then I find myself in Costa Rica, and Julián me dice que tiene un problema con manejo de desechos en la población, y que encontraron una forma de utilizar todos los desechos para producir energía y pues no seguir contaminando el agua de la región. Y de pronto en Guatemala me dicen que tienen el mismo problema, entonces hay que conectar esas historias y les hablo al uno del otro. And it is that way that I know that I need to start telling the stories. And even more so, while I'm in Guatemala, I meet Maria, and Maria starts telling me about all the properties of the plants that are around, and but that nobody wants to really use or take the tea of, because they have been told that there is this pill that they can get, so they would always be waiting for somebody to give them a pill instead of taking care of themselves with what they had. So all of these, all over the places, I write them down, and I keep the stories, and I come back to New York, and I am pipetting something in the lab, because I have to be a doctor, right? So I'm pipetting something in the lab, and I'm thinking that I am able to determine the fate of this cell, of what this cell is going to be next. Humanity has gotten to the moon, but we still haven't been able to figure out air and water. So that's how I end up in public health. And most importantly, this is how I figure out that the most important thing that I need to do is to tell the stories. Now I tell you the story. And now it's time for action. Thank you.